is how we roll, man. This is how we rock. This is how we win. This is how we
Ah, it's gone! Oh! Oh, well, the whole f***ing deal coverage! That was weird. Get wrecked! How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? Saint here with another video, and today it's a Call of Duty video. That's right, it's my first one in literal years. Literal years. I think I might have done a single Infinite Warfare video, like a single one. I hated that game. That game was hot garbage, all right? It was just not good. And then we came into Black Ops 4 on PC, and that was at the time the best PC Call of Duty that was made, but it still just didn't feel right to me on PC. Blackout was fantastic in the beta, and then I got the full version of the game, and I just did not enjoy it. They changed it just ever so slightly, and something just didn't feel right from the beta, and I just could not get back into the PC version of Blackout. I just couldn't do it, man. It just was not enjoyable to me. So I didn't really do any content with that other than streaming, you know, and I went back to Fortnite and playing that competitively and all that. And I haven't really given it a thought. And then I heard some rumors early on about what they were doing with Modern Warfare, and I'm like, dang, that sounds cool. That actually does sound cool. I might have to give it a shot. And then I went over a buddy's house during the alpha. I played the alpha on console, on PS4, and I'm like, I cannot wait to play this beta on PC. It feels like it's going to be amazing. And sure enough, I am lucky enough to get into early access for the beta, played a few games, just a few games by myself without friends, and I'm like, this is going to be a good one. As long as they don't completely change it like they did Black Ops, this is going to be a good Call of Duty, a good PC Call of Duty as well, good cross-play Call of Duty, and the beta is just giving me more fuel to that fire. Now, a lot of people had issues with it. A lot of people didn't like it, and to them I would say, you're freaking playing it wrong, dude. Everyone thinks you have to play this game so slow. Everybody thinks you have to camp and watch lanes. You don't. You do not. You can play it just like an older Call of Duty. You just have to learn the little ins and outs of each map, the little ins and outs of how movement works, and you're gonna be right back to it, dude. Trust me. I was cranking fools. This is one of my first games. This is a 27-7 game, not my best one. I had a few 40 bombs, had a few 30 bombs. Funny thing is, I didn't win any of those games. All of my teammates were so bad in those games. We ended up losing by like 1, 2, 3 points, even though I'm dropping, you know, 30, 40 kills. It was frustrating, so that's why I don't have a better gameplay for you guys, but it's still a decent one, and I hope you guys enjoy it. The MP5 is my baby. I absolutely love it, especially for a rushing class, but they have great guns in the game. Almost every gun can do damage. It's very balanced. There are some guns that do stand up a little bit ahead of the field, but nonetheless, you can still counter them pretty good. And if you have good aim, you are going to thrive in this game, and I like that. It's back to being who's better at aiming. That's what shooters are. Do you have better aim than the other player? Not do you have better movement, not do you have a better like thought process behind what you're doing. Yes, that does help, but if you have better aim than the other guy, you have an advantage, and I absolutely love that about this game. So anyway, let's get into it. I'm going to go through a pros and cons list. I'm going to start off with my favorite thing. The thing that really just stood out to me above and beyond everything else in the game, and that's the 2v2 game mode. I adored that game mode. Now, I like the 2v2 gunfight, the original, where you spawned with weapons and stuff like that, but I did have a little bit of a gripe with that, and that's on some of the maps, actually really just one of them, but on some of them, I'm sure there's going to be more at launch you could do this with. You can just shoot right away. As soon as the game starts, you're shooting. You're not moving. You're not getting to a different position to find the people. You're shooting them at their spawn. They're shooting you at your spawn. That's frustrating. That's annoying. That's stupid in my opinion. I didn't like that on some of the maps. Some of the maps you couldn't do that on, which they worked a lot better for that set class 2v2 game mode. But they came out with a different version later on in the beta, which I adored, and that is you spawn with nothing. You gotta go into the map and find some guns and then fight your 2v2, almost like a mini battle royale, and then you got your 2v2 in the end. And I adored that mode because you had to plan out, okay, am I gonna go for this spawn up here and see what gun spawns there, or am I gonna go for this spawn and get the pistol and try to get some damage in, and maybe my teammate will find a better gun. You gotta communicate and judge your movement based on that. It was so much fun. I loved that game mode. Now they kept taking it out, rotating it out like they did with all of the game modes, but nonetheless, I absolutely adored that. That was the star for me, was that game mode. So much fun with a friend, and I cannot wait to play more of that at launch. Now, let's get into the cons a little bit before we go into the rest of the pros, all right? I want to talk a little bit about some of the bugs. One of the main bugs that I had, I only had one crash, which whatever. I don't even know what caused it. It just happened. I'm not gonna really like gripe on that because it happens with any game, really. So I only had one crash, but the main bug I had an issue with, and I'm not sure if it was across all consoles and PC, or if it was just PC. But when I was in a party and we would play a game, after that game was over, most of the time it would not automatically reconnect to matchmaking servers. Like, it would just sit there saying connecting to matchmaking servers and do nothing for minutes and minutes and minutes on it. We sat for 10 minutes one time. I thought the servers were down. I tweeted at them. I'm like, are the servers down? And they weren't. So we ended up restarting our games, which fixed it. But then we learned later on that if you just completely disband the entire party that you're playing with all the way back, like everyone leaves it all the way back to the main menu and then reform, it works. But that's frustrating to have to do virtually every game. You don't want to have to do that every time. So that's something I actually brought to their attention. I'm pretty sure they're working on that for a fix for launch. So that's a good sign. And another good thing about this is Infinity Ward has been very vocal, very transparent, and actually telling us what they're trying to fix, why they're trying to fix it. And that's something I've never really seen in a Call of Duty before. That is fantastic. It makes me even more excited for this game. Anyway, moving on to the actual gameplay cons, I guess you could say. My biggest issue was Claymores. Claymores were not fun. I honestly still don't know why they brought them back. It promotes an extreme camper mentality, or just spamming them in random spots of the map. And the biggest problem with it is that even if you kill the guy who placed a Claymore, right? If you kill the guy who placed a Claymore and then say you run into a different room and then run back, you're dead. If he has not respawned, that Claymore is still there, still active, and will still kill you, and that is frustrating. I had an 18+ kill streak killed because I killed a guy with a Claymore, turned around, ran down the stairs, completely different part of the house from him, looked out a window, nobody's there, ran back up, ran into his Claymore, and died because he had not respawned yet. He was purposely waiting or something, I don't know, to see if I would run into his Claymore, and I did. Died instantly. It's extremely frustrating to have that happen, especially on an 18 kill streak, man. That should never happen. An easy fix for that is to just have Claymores disappear as soon as the player dies. You know, right away. Like, they get killed, it's gone. It doesn't, even if it activates, if it doesn't blow up before the player dies, it's gone. I'm pretty sure they did that in a previous Call of Duty as well, and that's how it needs to be in this. I really do believe that. If not, take it off. Just take it all the way out. It shouldn't be a thing, in my opinion, in general. It just promotes too much of a camper mentality. But that was my biggest gripe with the gameplay. The perks were good. I felt like the attachment system was great. You could kind of have whatever you wanted. There was a small limitation to it, but there's a lot of attachments. You could go through a lot of different things for a lot of different scenarios in the game, and you got something for you. And I really enjoyed that. You would really sit there and just create different builds for a gun. It was almost like its own character, your gun, where you had 15 different sights to choose from once you leveled it up. Do you want this one for range? You want this one for close quarters? You want this for hip fire? Like, I felt like it was great. A lot of people felt like it was too complicated. I liked it. My other big gripe, and this is the last big gripe, is that spawn logic in this game is atrocious. It is some of the worst spawn logic I have seen in a video game, in a Call of Duty, I should say, not in a video game, but in a Call of Duty in a long time. It is so bad, especially on the train yard map. I can't remember the name of it. It is so bad. It's so easy to get caught in a spawn trap for the entire game, and it is not fun. It is just the absolute worst. That is the last gripe. Everything else I absolutely loved, and I cannot wait to play more of this game at launch, especially the 2v2s. Anyway, that's going to do it for me, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Oh, I was 24-7. I thought it was 27-7. Whatever. Anyway, that's the gameplay. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Like I said, leave a comment down below. If you enjoyed the video, like, share, and subscribe if you so wish. If not, that's cool too. And I'll catch you guys later.